Okay, guys, so recently we worked with a company, a software company that had spent a couple of years trying to figure out how to sell their stuff, and it had a little bit of a struggle just trying to find, number one, who is the best person to buy their stuff, and number two, what do they actually want to sell to those people. So what I wanted to do in this video is show you exactly what I'm thinking when I'm creating split tests and creating tests and trying to find resonance in the market in order to sell more stuff. Because as you can imagine, when you're relying on your network or relying on referrals, it's really, really easy to get resonance because you already know them. So they're going to give you that time of day. But if you've already experienced this, sorry to hear, but if you haven't experienced this already, when you do try and sell to cold traffic, i.e. someone you don't know or a stranger, it's very rare that they'll give you the time of day because they're basically going to either see your email or see your ad or see your reach out or see your cold call, and they'll basically say, nah, screw off, I don't really want to hear from you, you're interrupting my day, unless you reach out to them with something that is very, very appealing to them. So what I want to do today is just tell you or sort of give a bit of information about how we have had success internally at my company and at my agency for my clients in finding what people want and being able to give it to them at scale. So let me just pull up my screen here. Hopefully you can see. Basically, what we're looking at right now is a cold email campaign and some stats. So what you're looking at is a bunch of split tests down the left. So you can actually see how many split tests we've run for this campaign. You can see we went all the way up to L. I think we might have even done more than that, but that was because we wanted to send a lot of different angles. Because what we do when we're trying to find resonance with a software product or something where our client doesn't know or understand who their most ideal customer is going to be is we will essentially just go, all right, let's pick 3 ICPs. We have a hypothesis about each 3 of these ICPs. We're going to choose 10 different angles for each of those ICPs. So we might have a different lead magnet or a different offer. It might be a loom. It might be, a freebie. It might be, hey, would it be valuable if we could do this? It might be, hey, would we be able to just go straight for a call? And essentially just taking 10 different approaches to 3 different ICPs. So that's 30 different scripts, 3 different campaigns. And what ends up happening is you're going to get a screen like this in your software. And basically what's going to happen is you're going to be able to see, okay, email B, we sent the angle of a loom. So it's like, okay, the loom got 35 replies, 6% reply rate, and a 30% positive reply rate. You might say, oh, it's not bad. And they might go to a 4.8, you might go 3.85, you might get a 2, you might say, oh, 2 is not bad. It's 2 is actually kind of trash. Honestly, it was like, what am I saying? It's not bad. I'm looking down here. I'm thinking 2. Oh, maybe that angle wasn't that good. But then I say, oh, it was a 42% reply rate. Let's let this play out a little bit more. So when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, are we running, number one, a scientifically significant or statistically significant test, which basically means, do we have enough repetitions in order to say for sure that the results that we've gotten were not novel results, basically that we know if we extrapolated them at scale, would they get very, very similar results? And typically if it's about 500, you would need a very, very strong result, meaning if you've sent 500 replies or if you've sent 500 emails, or 1,000 emails and you've gotten 0 replies, that's a pretty strong result. But if you're sort of somewhere in that middle ground, you might want to let it play out for a little bit longer. But typically you're able to see. So honestly, with a 2% reply, I think we can probably afford to cut that one, considering that we have some better campaigns up here. And basically what I'm looking to do is just see, okay, where have we got a winner? So honestly, these are all kind of around the same mark, but I would probably look at this one and say, well, we've got 10 positive replies, and this one has 10 positive replies as well. Maybe we can go in here and look at this specific campaign, so B and D. Maybe we can go and write 2 to 3 variations of B and D to actually go ahead and try and beat those campaigns. So we have this data where we say the angles in B and D resonated potentially more than the angles in C and E. So what we can do is maybe let's put C and E to the side. You can actually tell because I haven't got an A, and I haven't got a couple of the other letters because we've already cut those campaigns because they were underperforming. So if you have a campaign that's underperforming, you just cut it, keep the winners, try and make 2 to 3 iterations, and basically just go from there. Really, what this allows you to do is completely take any sort of skill out of the equation. You don't actually have to be good at cold email in order to get results. What you do have to do is test a lot. And the thing that skill is actually going to allow you to do is that skill will allow you to get closer to the mark of a good campaign off the bat, and without having to test as much. But if you just test so much and you write a new campaign every day, you write 10 new scripts every day or 5 new scripts every day, or even 1 new script every day, if you just improve by 1% every single day, and every single day you're just trying to say, what if I wrote a better campaign? How can I improve the offer? How can I improve the lead list? How can I improve the targeting? etc., etc. And then over time, if you improve enough, you're going to do a lot of great things in this game. But what I want to do in this video is really just show you what I'm kind of thinking when I'm looking at some campaign stats. And really, with something like this, I might just go ahead and say, 500. To be honest, because it's 500, I'm probably going to let it play out. But because it's kind of low, I'm like, okay, let's just watch K. And then what we'll do is we'll actually go and have like a Google Doc that says, okay, A, B, C, K were all trash. They sucked. Let's mark them in red so we know that when we had the angles about the loom or the audit or this certain lead magnet, we know that kind of didn't resonate. Let's just put a cross through them for a while, and then maybe we'll recycle them in another campaign later and just see. And then we can say, okay, the angle about giving them this freebie and going straight in for a book a call. Hey, they actually resonated more. Maybe we can make 2 or 3 more angles and try and beat them. So I won't ramble on for too long. I won't take too much of your time. But this is kind of the way that I will think about these sorts of things. And yeah, I guess same goes as most of the videos where I'm like, if this video was valuable for you and this sort of content resonates with you, let me know in the comments. If not, I'll probably just go back to making some more, highly edited stuff or maybe switch up the content or maybe, plan it out a bit more. What I wanted to do in this video, like I said, was just sort of give some value, some really actionable stuff. The things that you can take away from this is go ahead and write 30 cold email scripts with all different offers. So yes, just write 30 and then go ahead and send between 50 to 100,000 cold emails and get back to me. It sounds extreme, but what you can do is use the cold email guide that I've got in the description. It's completely free. Set up your cold email domains and go out and send 50 to 100,000 cold emails with 30 different angles. I reckon you might book some calls. Literally in the last, actually, I'll pull it up. In the last 60 days, we have booked 70 calls for a content agency, 80 calls for a paid ad agency, 30 calls for a SaaS, and 16 calls in 20 days for an email marketing agency. So if you're willing to put in the work to test and you're willing to go ahead and test those campaigns and get good over time, it's a pretty steep learning curve. Or you can just get someone to do it for you. There's a plethora of agencies out there. I'm sure you can find someone to help you. If that's us, great. If that's someone else, great. But you really want to put in the volume of testing and put in the work because the results are there. I mean, people sort of hate on cold email, but still very valid. Most of the time it's a skill issue. But yeah, won't take too much of your time, guys. Hope this was enjoyable. Until next time.